The desert wind was blowing. One of those hot, dry Santa Anas that howls down from the mountains and makes your nerves jump and your skin itch. It was the kind of wind that makes things happen. Crazy things. Every booze party ends in a fight. Old scores are settled. Meek little wives feel the edge of the carving knife and study their husbands' necks. It was a night when you didn't know your friends, but strangers looked familiar. A night like this, the smartest thing to do is nothing. Stay home. It was like the wind carried people along with it. Made them feel they had to keep moving, looking for a place to rest. Or a stranger to spend time with. Another face I knew from somewhere.
A roadster. It's parked around the corner, Mr. Barsley.
Well, maybe it's just a coincidence.
Maybe. There he is now. Shall I go after him, Mr. Barsley?
No, not yet, Leon.
You give a guy a full measure of beer for his money.
Must be this hot weather making me forget. Won't happen again.
Give me a beer.
I don't like drunks in the first place. And in the second place, I don't like them getting drunk in here. And in the third place, I don't like them in the first place.
Warner Brothers could use that.
They did. Hey, you'd think on a hot night like this, I'd have a couple more customers. Yeah, well, maybe it's a win. I hope it's only the win. What do you have, mister?
Beer, if it's cold.
It's cold.
Warm. Nothing's going right today. Seen a woman? White dress, real knockout. Leather jacket, big white hat. Drives the red roadster outside.
Wearing sandalwood?
Yeah, usually. How do you know?
Woman like that on a night like this, she'd be wearing sandalwood.
You haven't seen her?
Wish I had.
Me too.
What about you, Mac? What's the matter? You can't talk, maybe?
What's sandalwood smell like?
Trouble.
Sure, I can talk. I can say goodbye, Mother.
Call the cops.
Dead. Look at that blood. We're gonna lose this place.
I bought $600 for my father.
People will be curious.
I mean, this could be good for business.
It's nothing like a murder to give a bar a little character.
All right, folks, just stand back. Stand back. Thank you.
Hey, that's enough. Hey, you've been reading too many Dick Tracy comic books. Ain't this tamale something? Hey. See this? Instead of looking for fingerprints, take a look at this Benzedrine inhaler. The killer obviously was some drug-crazed hophead. But why didn't he dust the bartender and that goofy private eye?
His gun jammed.
Come here. Come here. You know, Lindy was absolutely right. Those guys got a lot of things figured out. Hey, buy yourself a taco tamale. Come down here. He lives in your apartment complex. What an interesting coincidence.
Fascinating.
I'll tell you what's fascinating. You always seem to turn up around corpses.
Did you happen to see the kind of gun the perpetrator used?
Perpetrator. See what they teach these spics at Dick School?
It was a snub-nosed .38.
See that glass over there? The one that the perpetrator was drinking from? Why don't you go over there and dust it, Lieutenant B. Barrett?
Killer deliberately smudged that glass when he set it down.
So observant. Dust it anyway. The owner of this dive recalls the deceased talking about a lady.
I don't think the term lady was used.
Oh, you got no respect for anyone, have you, Marlowe? Tell me about the woman Coates was looking for.
This your first killing of the night, Lieutenant?
The woman, Marlowe. Tell me about the woman.
No idea.
All right, you keep your eyes peeled for that roadster, and when you see it, you give me a call.
Happy to, Lieutenant.
I was wondering why someone would call Joseph Coates Waldo.
You know, I was wondering the same thing myself, Lieutenant Ibarra. I didn't know the guy very well, but I would think that maybe he had something to hide.
You know a lot more than you let on, pal. Walking around, acting real stupid after some innocent citizen gets dusted.
Oh, you knew Coates or Walter, whatever he called himself?
No.
Just said he was innocent. I knew Kopernik. He was as crooked as they come. I wondered what his angle was this time.
Drive, Tamale.
I don't think you call too many Mexicans tamale.
Why not?
Because I don't see any knife scars on your neck.
Oh, you're telling me that somebody's gonna cut my throat for speaking Spanish? Amigo?
Because I work with you. Doesn't make us amigos, Lieutenant.
Yeah, you got a lot to learn. Well. Don't be leaving town, Marlowe. And don't be firing at innocent citizens' cars. Drive, Tamale.
There it was, drifting by like something out of a dream. The car they were all looking for. An expensive car for an expensive lady. The lady Waldo had been asking about just before he got taken down. Got the idea I'd better find her before anyone else did. I wasn't surprised to find the roadster parked around the back of my building. Or to find that the lady had vanished again. I didn't really believe in her anyway. Lola Barsley. That made her real enough. Maybe too real. Frank Barsley was a politician. The man of the people he was calling himself these days. He was hoping the people would buy that in next month's vote. Word on the street had it he wasn't leaving anything to chance. They said Lola Barsley's husband got what he wanted, one way or another. I figured Mrs. Barsley would show up. Somebody had to tell her the guy she was looking for wouldn't be home, tonight or any other night. What are you doing, Mrs. Barsley?
Who are you?
Philip Marlowe.
And how do you know my name?
That's a reasonable question. I checked the registration in your roadster. What are you doing here, Lola?
I'm visiting my mother. The file usually works when I forget my key.
If that's the case, I got some really bad news. Your mother's name is Waldo, only she calls herself Joseph Coates, and she's dead. You're in trouble. The police are looking for you. Come on. It's okay. I live one floor down.
I needed that. I guess the cat's out of the bag. Mother isn't really called Waldo.
Tell me about him.
Our ex-chauffeur. I didn't like him, but I'm sorry he's dead.
Murdered Mrs. Barsley.
A man like Waldo was born to be murdered.
I take it you won't be wearing black to the funeral.
This is quite a chess set.
You play?
I haven't in a long while. But I'm game.
Lola Barsley was up to her beautiful eyes in something. I needed to know what it was. I was ready to bet the cops were the least of her troubles. There was no time for anything fancy. I had to take her by surprise, shock some answers out of her. It wasn't gonna be easy. Lola was the kind who would think twice before giving you the time of day. Then she'd probably lie about it. Sandal. You ever play chess with your ex-chauffeur?
Do we have to talk about him?
I think so. Check.
Mate.
Fool's mate, Lola. When would somebody walk into a bar, dust him, and call him Waldo?
That was probably the nicest thing anyone ever called him. What are you doing?
You better not be seeing this. Before Waldo was shot, he described you in this jacket.
police know about that too, do they? And will they be looking for a woman in a white dress?
Oh, yes.
Don't you think it's getting a little hot in here?
It's the wind.
Maybe other parts of the building are cooler.
Waldo's apartment?
That's a suggestion.
Don't play me for a chump. Mrs. Barsley, what is it you want?
Before it's too late, I have to pick up a string of imitation pearls. Waldo borrowed them, and I came to buy them back.
Imitation?
Yes. Sentimental value. You know about sentimental, don't you, Mr. Marlowe?
Why don't you just call the police?
I guess I better go talk to them. If that's what you want.
That could be them. Easy. This weather's got everyone crazy. You know, you could do a lot of damage with that if you happen to flick the safety on. Be right there.
Where's the other player?
I sort of play against myself.
Oh, we all do. Learned a lot about that in the pen. Learned a lot about nothing in 7 years.
Is that where you met Waldo?
That's where I didn't meet him. He ratted on me. He thought he could get away by changing his name from Waldo to Joe Coates.
Prison make you bitter.
No. Just crazy. Yeah. But that's okay, too. Only someone a little crazy would watch you leave the bar when the cops finished. Nothing personal, but dead witnesses are best.
Gun might jam again.
I'll tell that to the angels.
I'd say you look behind you, but you might not believe me. I owe you, Mrs. Barsley. Price of sentiment keeps going up in this town, huh?
How about a drink?
Got great faith you can be rehabilitated after they electrocute you. Yeah, let me talk to Lieutenant Ibarra.
He's not at his desk right now.
Okay, will you tell him that this is Philip Marlowe? I've got his perpetrator here in my apartment.
His perpetrator? Got it.
Thanks.
Right.
You know anything about pearls?
They come out of oysters.
Frank Barsley?
Heard him talk on the radio. Sounds like he's got it made.
I'd called Ibarra, but it was Kopernik who showed up to collect the killer. Said it was his case, his collar. I had better things to do than argue with him, like drinking some supper. I also made a couple of other calls. Heard an interesting rumor. Seems Frank Barsley had been spending time with a society dame called Eva Kolchenko. I wondered what his wife thought about that. I told Lola to go on home, grab an early night. She said she would. Neither one of us believed her.
I still don't have what I came for, Mr. Marlowe.
Kopernik was back too, staking the place out.
Oh, that's a good Leo. Oh, that's my big pussy. Yeah. Oh, that's a good Leo. Oh, that's my big pussy. Yeah. 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 Oh, that's
Talk pearls to me.
I guess I told you a little white lie about them, didn't I?
Is that why Waldo's dead?
Waldo stole the pearls and demanded $3,000 for their return. I had nothing to do with his death. The money is yours if you help me get the pearls back.
Wouldn't it be simpler and cheaper to have your husband handle this? He seems to be pretty well connected with the police. Look, lady, it's time you came through with some answers. One man's dead, another tried to kill me, and the cops are leaning on me hard.
You're right, Mr. Marlowe. You see, my husband is a powerful man. Powerful enough to get away with anything. Anything he cares to.
Did he give you the pearls?
My husband only gives expensive gifts to his mistress. He thinks I bought them at a charity bazaar for $25. They're worth $25,000.
Not to mention sentimental value.
There was a man. He was a flyer. A man who cared nothing for danger, a bit like you, Mr. Marlowe. His name was Stan. We were in love.
Flyer, huh? Where would a flyer get 25 grand to spend on a string of beads?
He bought them from a refugee in South America. He gave them to me as a symbol of the promise between us. They were our escape. When the time was right, we were going to sell them and run away together.
Of course, that time just never seemed to come around.
Early last month, Stan was flying a cargo across the Mexican border. His engine caught fire. He was killed in the crash. I believe my husband had him murdered.
You're a very beautiful woman, Mrs. Parsley. I can understand why a man would kill for you.
I've got to find those pearls. They're all I've got left now. The only part of me my husband doesn't own.
Wait a minute. What's this?
My pearls. I can't. Can you open it for me?
Sorry, Lola. Maybe Waldo had them with him.
God.
You know this guy?
It's Leon, my husband's campaign manager.
Does he know about the pearls?
No, only Waldo, I'm sure of it.
Tell me straight. Do you know anything about this?
No, Mr. Marlowe, I don't.
Okay, Mrs. Parsley.
What are you doing here?
What you taught me to do. Fighting crime and evil.
had a silver clasp in the shape of a propeller blade with a little diamond in the center.
Smells like burnt rope. Mexican tobacco, probably. Waldo smoked cheap cigarettes?
No, just cigars.
Earlier tonight, I saw Leon with one of these cigarettes glued to his lip.
Do you ever just want to get away? Just take a train or a boat somewhere, anywhere? Do you ever wish you were born someplace else? I think about it all the time.
Now, why would Leon have a key to this place? I think Leon knew his killer, knew him well enough to let him in anyway. Leon ever been in jail?
No. Let's get out of here, please.
Your husband served time?
No, let's just go.
Cops. They'll take the elevator up. You better take the back stairs.
Come with me.
I'll catch up with you later. Come on.
What are you doing here?
Watering the plants.
Really? How about breaking and entering?
Waldo left me a key. He asked me to look after his plants if anything should happen to them. Listen, you're supposed to water these things every day or every other day.
I thought you didn't know Waldo very well.
Plants bring people together.
Where's Mrs. Bursley?
How should I know?
Her husband wouldn't appreciate you spending time with her, Marlowe. You better, you want to come here. How'd he get there?
Damn if I know.
There's a lot of funny things going on here, Marlowe. First there's Waldo. Then after I picked up Al at your place, he tried to escape. I had to shoot him.
No.
Sure, be on the news. Now, Mr. Barsley's campaigning manager's dead, and, well, you're here.
You knew Leon.
Oh, I know a lot of people in this town.
You ever served time?
No, but you will.
I was hired to recover some pearls.
These?
If you found them on Waldo, they're worthless.
It was found in his money belt. Now, who hired you?
You know I can't betray a client's confidence. Easy. You got the makings of a great cop, but not if you cover for him.
Tell me something new.
Look, I need some time. A few hours. Let me borrow those pearls.
No, I can't let you have them.
You want men like Leon running this town?
Get out of here, Marlowe.
It didn't take me long to find Leon's car. and it wasn't his. It belonged to Frank Barsley's new girlfriend. Eva Kolchenko had a pile of dough and a taste for politics. She was what they call a kingmaker. Word on the street was that Frank liked the lady a lot. And liked the dough even better.
Yes, sir?
I got a car here that belongs to Miss Eva Kolchenko.
Well, I'll take care of it, Benji. Arigato. You have something for me?
Oh, I don't think so. The car must belong to one of your servants. It's an old green Chevy.
On the contrary, the car is mine. I approve of a solid automobiles. I think that is utilitarian for the people. I have a number of such cars. You wish perhaps a reward?
I wish perhaps to see Frank Barsley.
Why?
Because a man who worked for him is dead.
How horrible. If I should see Mr. Barsley, I'll tell him that you are looking for him.
You can also tell him he made a big mistake tonight. Things are going to happen that he won't like. You don't play games with people's lives.
Oh, come on now, Mr. Marlowe. No one's playing any games here. Come on. Come on in here. Sit down. Thanks for returning the car. Honestly, I think you may have some of the facts wrong.
I was just about to point that out.
If you would excuse us for a moment, Miss Kolchenko. Please, why don't you sit down here? I've been informed about Leon. I just don't know what happened at your apartment, but I'm sure the police will find out who is responsible and justice will prevail. I, of course, will take care of Leon's wife and his 3 children.
You have a light?
Sure. Hot night. Would you like a drink? Lemonade.
Scotch for me.
Scotch. You ever notice how great civilizations rise and fall?
I have to admit I haven't paid too much attention to those things tonight.
Constantinople, Athens, they dominated the world. Crumbling cities now.
Before you went into politics, did you teach history?
Oh, no. I leave that to those who are qualified. All I'm saying is that everything has its time and its season, just like the good book promises. And Los Angeles is next. We are in the right place at the right time, Mr. Marlowe. There's a new wind, Mr. Marlowe. It's a wind of change.
Sounds dandy. And whoever controls Los Angeles controls the entire planet.
Oh, come on now. You're being a bit of a cynic.
You found me out.
Maybe, but I need your help, and Frank Barsley does not forget a kindness, especially in the midst of a political race.
Which means I should forget about Leon.
Just leave that to the police. You know, what you need now is a good night's sleep, and I'm going to get someone to drive you home.
You really think you can continue?
Absolutely. What purpose would be served by an investigation that would only harm Leon's family? None at all. And I know that you are the last person in the world that would do anything that would harm Lola. Be pure folly for us to continue.
Does a mistress come under the category of folly?
A mistress is simply, a possession. Like this house, or my car, or my wife. And if anyone interferes with my rights of ownership, things happen.
You're even more charming in person than you are on radio. Scrape away the man of the people routine, and Frank Barsley was about as charming as a rattlesnake with a sore head. He hadn't told me a thing. But now I knew who had killed Leon and why. Maybe I should have called the cops and gone to bed. But there were too many things I didn't know. Lola had told me 2 different stories about her pearls. I needed to know which one was true.
Ay, Philip. You wake me up in the middle of the night for this. You should be ashamed of yourself. A big boy like you. You make me crazy.
You think they're worth $50?
$50. I would sell them for $50 to someone on a dark night if I didn't like that someone. Cheap silver. Cheap. A $5 diamond chip. It's not even worth cleaning.
You think maybe someone counterfeited those pearls in that clasp recently?
Recently? This counterfeit is old. Listen, Philip, let me give you a tip. Do me a favor. Stay out of the jewelry business. Stay out. These have been together since Moses was found in the bulrushes. Look. This is what a real knot looks like. Take a look. You see?
A lady trusted a man. Thought he loved her. Thought she was getting a $25,000 strand of pearls.
That'll be 6 bits. Hey, thanks, buddy.
I had most of it now. Old business was being looked after. Past was being rubbed out. But I still didn't know what part Lola was playing. Was she a pawn or the queen? Was she fighting to keep her husband or to save her life? Lola? He hurt you, didn't he?
It doesn't matter.
I gotta know something. Your husband gave me these matches a few hours ago. He also left a booklet of them in Waldo's apartment.
What are you talking about?
When you're in jail, they only give you a couple of booklets of matches a month. So the cons split them in half like this. Becomes a habit, one that's hard to break. Why did you tell me Frank never served time?
I had to. I didn't mean to lie so much to you. Every lie I told,
You're getting me in trouble. It's okay. I guess I understand. So, everyone died so that Frank could keep his little secret safe.
Hi. We've had a busy night, haven't
The wind would have kept me awake anyway.
we? You've been in our bedroom, and my wife is beaten up. Now, a husband can be forgiven almost anything in a case like that.
Why did you kill Leon? You discovered he told Waldo about your jail record? How many others have died for your secret, Parsley? How about the flyer? Or does his death come under the category of protecting your possessions? Police are coming.
Come on, Lieutenant Kopernik. You'll understand how distraught I was when I found you here.
Does Kopernik know about your secret? Might have to kill him and, of course, his family, but then politics is a dirty business, isn't it?
Let him go, Frank.
It's the second time you've saved my neck.
Yours now. Take these instead of the 3,000. Feel like I'm flying. Stan loved the wind.
Got yourself a murder charge. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
You won't make it stick. As a matter of fact, you're not even going to charge him. Get my meaning?
What?
You give me any problems, I'm going straight to internal affairs.
drove down to Malibu. The ocean took the bite out of the hot wind. When Waldo quit his job as Frank Barsley's chauffeur, he took two things with him: Lola's pearls and Frank's secrets. He tried to sell both of them back, but his past caught up with him before he could collect. With Waldo out of the picture, Frank himself took care of the only other guy who knew he'd served time for fraud, Leon. And Lola just wanted her pearls back. She never knew they were fake. At least she died believing her fantasy, not knowing that her brave, handsome flyer was just another cheap two-timer.